Capoeira é pra homem, menina e mulher. Eu conheci mestre Bimba, conheci canjiquinha e totonho de maré. Eles disseram pra mim, capoeira é pra homem, menina e mulher.
A capoeira é uma arte, uma dança, música. A capoeira é luta. A capoeira é tudo para mim. A capoeira é água de beber. A capoeira é um grito de liberdade. A capoeira é um jeito de ser. E vamos-nos embora, camarada. É hora de trabalhar.
E na capoeira.
Capoeira is one of the many cultural weapons used to break the chains of enslavement in Brazil that is characterized by its game, ritual, and martial art dance aspects. It is known and practiced throughout Brazil and internationally, and is currently practiced in more than 150 countries worldwide by men, women, and children of different ages, ethnic backgrounds, and social statuses. Its artistic, philosophical, and social elements make it one of the most important, culturally expressive representations of Brazilian culture and society, and it is second to soccer as a Brazilian national pastime. Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art form that traces its roots from African traditions and rituals of oppressed enslaved Africans. Some believe that capoeira originated from the quilombos or slave settlements. Others believe that capoeira originated in Angola, Africa, from the Ingolo or zebra dance of the Mugopi tribe of southern Angola that is performed during the efundula, or the female rite of passage from being young girls to becoming young women. Capoeira was practiced underground because it was prohibited by law in 1892. Capoeira, candomblé, and samba were elements of African culture that were persecuted and received the most ruthless maltreatment during this period. There are two different styles of capoeira being practiced now, Capoeira Angola and Capoeira Regional. The father of Capoeira Angola is Mestre Pastinha, also known as Vicente Ferreira Pastinha. Mestre Bimba, also known as Manuel do Reis Machado, is the creator of Capoeira Regional.
My name is Alessandra Simas, and my capoeira name is Felina.
My name is Eden Shoemaker, and my capoeira name is Instructora Sarará.
What does that mean?
Sarará is a type of Brazilian.
I'm Molly Lee, and my capoeira name is Instructora Esquilo.
My name is Angelique Starks. My capoeira name is Borboleta. It means butterfly.
My name is Sol. My capoeira name is Sol. Sol means the sun.
My real name is Ellen.
There you go.
My capoeira name is Missile.
And what does that mean?
Missile is missile, like rocket.
My name is Pavão, and Pavão means peacock.
My name is Natasha Silber. My capoeira name is Guerrera. It means warrior.
My name is Ana. Is that it? Oh, your name?
Your capoeira name?
My atrasada. It means late, like tardy.
Meu nome é Marilúcia da Silva Souza. Eu sou conhecida na capoeira como Magalia.
Was a time when capoeira women was prohibited in the roda de capoeira. You know, the woman used to go to capoeira roda just to be outside clapping and singing, and sometimes when they do samba de roda, the women jump in the roda to do a samba. Or when the police arrive to finish the roda, the berimbau player switch the rhythm from capoeira to samba de roda, and then the woman jump in the roda. You know, so today 60 or 70% of capoeiristas in the world, they are women. You know, in Europe, in Rio, in Brazil, or here in the United States, there's a lot of women playing capoeira, and sometimes they don't have the opportunity to play in the roda because the majority of masters are men. They in charge, so they give like 5 minutes, 10 minutes for women playing the roda. Okay, roda de mulher, and then they play for 10 minutes. Okay, now that's it. Come on, the guys play. So you know, it's very unfair.
This discussion about wanting equality in capoeira. So do you have a women's event? Because that in essence separates you. But if you want to be equal, sometimes you have to level the playing field and have an event that's by and for women, but open the doors to everybody.
I think events for women in particular are important because it highlights the strength and the contribution that women have in the art of capoeira. I also think it's important because a lot of times we see many men, mestres and contramestres and formandos, instructors at events, and not as many women. And events like this highlight the large percentage of women that train capoeira. At our school in LA, it's more than 50%.
You know, capoeira is a practice that's so empowering for women. You know, it strengthens us physically and mentally, and I think women have a lot of need to express ourselves through movement and singing, and it's just really empowering to vocalize and express. But then sometimes you go to events and then women don't get that opportunity, the men get that opportunity. And I don't think it's all sexism or something. You know, a lot of it is just there's a chord system, and you have to respect the hierarchy, but what happens is women haven't been playing as long, and so we're still, in the relative scheme of things, a little lower. So it's good to have a way to just, one, to highlight women so that women get inspired to be great, because we have some amazing women. And then also, to get a chance to play.
She was there when this is back in 87, 88, seeing Edna and watching her play capoeira and saying, hey, she's a girl that's just playing with a girl or a woman that's just playing with these guys, and there's no change in the game.
The growth that we've had over the last century, because really it's only been since less than a century, since the 70s, that women started to really come up in capoeira.
Quando você começou, tinha muitas mulheres fazendo capoeira?
Tinha bastante mulheres, mas mestra era só uma que eu conhecia, né? Que era a mestra Solicota, e outra mestra eu não cheguei a conhecer naquela época.
When I started, I know they had a lot of women training capoeira with Mestre Bonel, but I don't think it was the same everywhere, And now has a lot of women playing capoeira everywhere. So it's not something that, it's local, it's everywhere. So, but it's hard because when you see a lot of women starting capoeira but not being a teacher or, a higher belt.
Why do you think that is?
Why? Because women has to take care of family, and they have babies.
I think more and more women are taking on that role of becoming the leaders in capoeira. So I thought it was very important. One, because if I see that they could do it, then I know that I can, because physiologically we are the same. And number two, it gives me a lot more motivation than it would seeing a man do it. Really defined, when I first started capoeira, the only woman that I know that was a high ranking in capoeira was Edna Lima, and I remember seeing her at my first batizado in 1999. She was the only woman that was a high court, where she's mestre Edna Lima. I really didn't know any other women. I mean, I know women that practiced, but they didn't have a high court, not like the men did. And the men really dominated. Women are expected to be a certain way. They're expected to be mothers and expected to be good wives. And I think a lot of sometimes women forget their individuality. It's superseded by their role prescribed by society.
It's very important to see other pregnant capoeirista playing as a woman, right? It's part of life. So it's to me, when I look at from now, I always look and see what can these women do, so what I can do, and so it gives me hope. It gives me sense that I can continue, and it's not that I have to stop because I'm pregnant. So I think it's very important to see other women higher than you, and that's why this event is so important, because you can, I'm trying to learn as much as I can from their experience. It's very important to me that I'm able to do this, that I'm able to be pregnant and with all its problems, but still be able to come and play and have that energy, the awesome energy that you get from capoeira, that I don't think you can get anywhere else.
For me, it's now it's much harder. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I'm pregnant of one more, and this time with Leticia, when she was born, first I was teaching here in Gávea when she was born. I was bringing her, but came a time that I couldn't bring her anymore because I live in Jacarepaguá. It's far from Gávea, and the traffic here is crazy. And you know, I couldn't. Okay, I stopped teaching in Gávea, and I had to look for another place closer to my home. Then thanks God, I found, and I could keep teaching. But this year I was pregnant again, and I could. And the doctor said, no, you can't do anything now. No, and I had to stop. But then I hope to come back next year, but everything you don't know what can happen. You know, it's hard because it's a baby, and what's your priority when you have a family? You know, even it's your work, and I think it will be okay, but not everybody has a husband that understands, that supports you.
In the past, was kind of, what's the word? It wasn't for women, I guess. So, now that it is, then they have to establish an identity, and they have to have the younger students and the men respect that as well. I come in when the generation is already women in charge anyway, so I don't see a difference.
Algumas mulheres me procuram, né, que se sentem mais à vontade em treinar com a mulher, né? Mas eu tenho muitos homens também que treinam porque gostam da minha liderança enquanto professora, sabe? E tem aqueles também que têm preconceito, que no primeiro momento assim, eu tenho um aluno aqui mesmo que ele relatou pra mim que quando tava procurando capoeira, que viu que eu era uma mulher, ela disse, ah não, mulher dando aula de capoeira não, mas quando chegou e veio ver a aula, falou, opa!
O que foi diferente para ele? Ele te contou o que foi diferente?
Eu acho que foi a maneira de eu conduzir a aula, de eu envolver os alunos, sabe? E ver que tinham que os meus alunos me respeitam muito, principalmente os homens. Então ele falou, tem dele.
Women in capoeira is growing now, but back even 10 years ago, it was really hard to find high-level women, and now in the last 10 years, women are becoming instructors, having their own groups, and I think it's important to highlight that.
Teu sorriso me faz virar. Que molejo é esse, menina? Me ensina que eu quero aprender. Quando for jogar capoeira, eu não deixo ninguém te bater. Quero ver a menina jogar. Quero ver a menina jogar.
In the late 1970s and early 1980s, women started training capoeira more frequently. Women finally became visible and were no longer the dark, indistinct shadows behind the men. It was time for women to demonstrate and affirm their place within the capoeira realm. After the legalization of capoeira in the 1930s, women ceased to be seen as a novelty and were an essential component within the social structure of the game, fight, dance, ritual of capoeira. Women were no longer ignored.
Cuidado com esse negro é mandingueiro, esse negro é batuqueiro, ele também é jongueiro, oh, cuidado.